Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of our 7-day meditation support class. And I'm happy to guide you in your practice. Yesterday, we started with just a brief introduction to what meditation is and how we can use it. I also shared a little bit about my personal background with meditation, being trained in Vipassana and mindfulness. And I also, really focused on three main principles. If you didn't have a chance to watch yesterday live, the video is posted on the YouTube channel, so you can rewatch that anytime. There are just a recap for those of you that are joining us today for the first time. The three main principles of meditation, which I believe are integral to any style, whichever practice you choose, and we'll go into the different styles a little bit in a few minutes, are awareness, non-judgment, and equanimity. Right? So my personal philosophy on meditation is how we meditate is the same way we do life. How we do life is what we bring to our meditation. And so when we have a practice, we're able to cultivate certain principles that are necessary for life. Right? So awareness being fundamental to living consciously and taking personal responsibility, making good choices, creating the things that we really truly desire in our lives. So meditation gives us an opportunity to practice and develop awareness. Non-judgment, which is in my opinion, the root of suffering, right? So when we learn to observe our inner life and meet aspects of who we are, aspects of what we're feeling, what we're experiencing with non-judgment, it gives us an opportunity to develop compassion and so we can be more compassionate towards ourselves in life and more compassionate towards other people. So developing awareness and non-judgment in our meditation practice allows us to have awareness and non-judgment in everyday life. And then the last principle, equanimity, which I believe is a superpower we can all develop, is the ability to be with whatever is showing up, right? It's okay if it is, and it's okay if it's not. And it's not detached. It's loving non-attachment, right? So we are committed to whatever serves our highest and best good. We're committed to, living our lives, to being our best selves, to showing up in love, to showing up with awareness and compassion and non-judgment. And we are allowing things to be as they are. It's the resistance to things showing up the way they're showing up when we want things to go a certain way, and we are in resistance to that, in resistance to any opposition or any kind of interruption to our will, then we suffer. Right? So equanimity gives us the opportunity to really just let it be and observe and create that gap. I talked yesterday about creating this gap between what we're experiencing, what we observe, and what we're experiencing. So the gap between, what I feel and what I'm going to do about how I feel, or what I'm going to say about how I feel. So this gap gives us really the space to make choices, to take personal responsibility and make good, conscious choices about how we want to show up, right? So equanimity allows us to be in that neutral place of observation where we can now readjust internally and make those choices for our lives. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me. You can chat with me as I'm talking before we go into our meditation practice around 9:15. So again, awareness, non-judgment, equanimity, three basic principles that are integral to every style. So I also want to say that there's no such thing as, a bad meditation. All meditation is good meditation if it's incorporating these three basic principles. We can use different styles. For example, what we experienced yesterday was mindfulness with a little bit of Vipassana, which is observing sensations and just allowing them to be without, jumping in, without changing or trying to shift, just allowing things to be what they are and practicing deep acceptance. So this is, I would say, the style that influences me the most. There are other styles of meditation. For example, there is transcendental meditation where we use a mantra, and you can repeat the mantra over and over again throughout your practice. This is a particularly beneficial style for those of us that have trouble focusing, or we have trouble being still, or we find it helpful to have one particular thing to focus on throughout our meditation. It's not a style that I particularly use, but as I mentioned, all meditation is good meditation. So if this is something that resonates for you, a very popular mantra for transcendental meditation is Om. Om is encompasses the sound of all creation, all things in the universe flowing through it, and the divinity of that being expressed in that one sound. And so it's a very powerful mantra. There are more extended versions of this that are a little bit more rooted in Hinduism and Buddhism. So if that's something that resonates for you, or if that's your cultural background, and you're probably already familiar with, Om Namah Shivaya and so on. So these are not styles that I use, but they can be very beneficial for those of us that are looking for a particular mantra or a particular thing to focus on. Again, even just saying the word Om, which is something that we do at times at the end of my meditation. We'll say Om 3 times. We'll actually use that in one of the styles this week. It can be very powerful, very uplifting, and you can actually feel all your cells shifting as you invoke the power of this word. So that is one style. There's also theta wave meditation, which is meditation that we do to train our subconscious mind. This is a style that I would recommend doing just before you go to sleep at night. For those of you that are avid meditators, if you can close your eyes and breathe and drop into theta, wonderful. And for those of us that are just beginning, it can be very difficult to reach theta wave brain state, in the conscious, in conscious awareness during the day. So very easy to do just before we drift off to sleep. We naturally go into theta before we hit delta. You can put in some headphones and listen to your favorite YouTube track, subliminal programming, positive affirmations, things like that. This is also meditation. Okay. So you can do this to train your subconscious. If you do the one-on-one work with me, you know that I'm a big advocate for programming our subconscious mind. It's responsible for manifesting 90% of everything we're creating in life. So really important to spend some time working on exploring what's in the subconscious and programming it, training it, offering it positive affirmations and suggestions for success, for health, overall body healing, wellness, and so on. So theta wave meditation is very powerful. There's also alpha state meditation, which invokes a different part of the brain. And this is what we do in our waking state with our eyes, closed and turned up 45 degrees. And this is a very traditional method. If you are familiar with the Silva method, this is also very popular. It's basically alpha state. Alpha state meditation is all about creative visualization and problem solving. So this is where we would, close our eyes and visualize a blank canvas and see, the story of our lives, or visualize what we want to manifest or what we want to call in and what we want to create. And we can use some affirmations, in this style as well, to call in what it is that we want to hold the energy for, right? What we're intending for. And a lot of times this style of meditation can inspire us. It can bring us a lot of insights. It can help us solve issues. When we invoke alpha state, sometimes we can see possibilities that were not accessible to us in just regular, everyday mundane consciousness. So this is another style of meditation. We're actually going to do the alpha state creative visualization, manifesting abundance meditation style during this 7-day class as well in the later parts. And so, another style that I really appreciate is metta meditation, which is loving kindness. And the entire meditation practice is focused on just generating unconditional love for ourselves and compassion, and then extending that compassion and unconditional love out into the world. This is very, very powerful. This is very, sorry, I just got distracted. This is a very powerful meditation to be able to embody unconditional love and to offer it as a vessel in service to all beings everywhere, is a beautiful way to experience that love and to amplify that love within us. So I we will be doing that one on the last day. It's a lovely way to end the class as well. So there are components of each style that I incorporate in, my daily practice. I love to use meditation for self-reflection, for regulating my nervous system and processing difficult emotions. We had, a little bit of a flavor of that yesterday. Today we're going to go into deep processing of anxiety and stress and fear, unpleasantness, physical pain, and so on. I love to use meditation for self healing purposes. Okay, so that's kind of my niche. And I also really enjoy using meditation for guided visualizations and manifesting, whatever it is that I would like to call in more of, whatever it is that I would like to amplify in my life. So you'll notice in my class that I'm very partial to these two particular styles of meditation. And I invite you to take little bits of whatever works for you, whether it's to sit in silence or to repeat a mantra or to use affirmations or to use the diaphragmatic breathing, or to say Om at the end of your meditation, whatever it is that really works for you. And to incorporate that, part of what I hope that everyone derives from this class is to be able to create your own style, your own style of meditation that that you can commit to, that really works for you. I want to talk a little bit about stress before we go into this today's meditation. You know, for me, when we're experiencing stress, is not really an emotion, right? It's more of a systemic response to a lot of unresolved feelings and suppressed emotions that we haven't really fully sat with and dealt with. So if you're feeling a lot of stress in your life, it's probably because you're not giving yourself enough space to really sit down and be with your feelings. Most human beings have no idea how to do this, right? So we're going to use our meditation practice today to learn how to disarm some of this systemic stress so we can go into the deeper emotions. I believe the same is true with anxiety. I don't really see anxiety as an emotion. I see it more as a cork in a bottle. It just kind of buffers down our deeper unresolved emotions and doesn't, keeps us in our chest. It keeps us in fight or flight. It keeps us in the mind, right? And keeps us, reacting to life versus being with life. So we want to be able to deal with anxiety and stress in the same way, where we want to give ourselves permission to be still. And the first part of that is just making the time to take space to sit, whether that's sitting in nature or sitting on a chair or lying on your bed, whether it's first thing in the morning or at night before you go to sleep. Anytime in the day that you can carve out 10 to 15 minutes. Again, I really want to make meditation accessible to everyone. If you have 5 or 10 or 15 minutes in a day to sit down and just be with yourself and be comfortable, you don't have to sit in lotus. I don't sit in lotus anymore. You can sit on a comfortable chair or lie down in your bed and just give yourself an opportunity to just go deeper within yourself. And I'm going to guide you into a practice today that's hopefully going to help you do that. Because when someone says just go deeper and feel your feelings, if you've never done that before, that's not very helpful, right? So I'm going to guide you into a process that allows us to really tune into what our bodies are telling us. If you're experiencing physical pain, there's information there, right? Most often, when we are misaligned in our thinking, when we're thinking a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of fear-based thoughts, this is not true to our essential nature, right? These are conditioned thoughts that we've absorbed and inherited throughout the course of our lives, through early childhood conditioning and the events of our adult life as well. We make interpretations about who we are and what we're worth and what we can have and what we can't have and how life goes and so on. So when we start to observe our conditioning, and we really take that space to examine some of those beliefs and feel into our emotions. So when we're misaligned in our thoughts, we usually have emotions that go hand in hand with those thoughts, whether it's fear or sadness or frustration or anger. And if we don't deal with the thoughts, the emotions kind of linger and they suppress and they fester, and eventually they will create physical dis-ease, physical discomfort. So if you have pain in your body today in our practice, I invite you to just observe it and just really tune in and see if there's any information there about emotions that might be coming up that will help release the pain, and thoughts that are concurrent with this feeling. It can be a limiting belief, it can be a self-destructive thought. Whatever your pain is, there is an emotional root that has a belief associated with it, and they perpetuate each other. They feed into each other to create this pattern in your life that perpetuates pain. Okay, so we're going to use meditation today to really go deep within ourselves, to relieve pain, to relieve suffering, and to really process a lot of unresolved stuff, to go beyond the barriers of, what we call anxiety or stress, which are systemic responses to unresolved stuff in our lives. Pent up emotions we have about a variety of different situations that we haven't fully sat down to process. So again, if you can just take 5 to 10, even 15 minutes a day to have a practice, even just to sit with yourself and do some deep diaphragmatic breathing, which we're about to begin together, to really just reflect on what's going on in your life and bringing yourself lots of unconditional love and compassion. That in and of itself is already meditation. That is already healing something. You are already invoking the healing process and taking responsibility for the quality of your state. So even that little bit of a practice alone you'll already start to see the benefits in your life and start to feel the benefits in your body as well. Okay. So if you have any questions, now would be a good time to just tap them in the chat. Okay. And thank you for those of you that are joining me live. And you can always post questions in the comments afterwards or message me directly. All right, good. So let's meditate. We'll close our eyes. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath. Diaphragmatic breathing is very simply just breathing into the belly. So breathe in, belly out. Fill the belly up with breath. Expand it as comfortably as you can. And then just allow the belly to drop naturally. Because this is more of an inward focused process, meditation and processing unresolved emotions. And, I recommend you breathe in and out of your nose. But I don't want to give you too many restrictions. If it feels comfortable and natural to exhale out of the mouth, then go ahead and do so. Just as long as you're breathing in and out of your belly. Notice the tendency to be in the chest, right? Just observe that. This is how we've been conditioned to breathe. It's what feels natural to breathe in order to cope with the pace of human life and all of the systems we've set up for ourselves. This is actually not conducive to human wellness. So we're learning in our practice today to really train ourselves to be in our bellies, to be in relax and digest mode. To cultivate presence, to feel grounded. Just be here right now with me. Take the next 15 minutes to be fully present in this practice as a gift to yourself. Good. As we begin today to really go deeper within ourselves, we're going to start with some total body relaxation. Just making sure that we're fully open and sensitive to what's happening for us on a physical level, emotional level, and psychological level. We're going to start with the top of the head, right at your crown. Just scan your body. Scan across your forehead, relax the muscles in your eyebrows, relax the muscles in your face and jaw, Gently scanning to feel in for tension and relaxing the muscles as you come across each area of the body. Relax the muscles in your jaw. It's very normal to clench our jaws, to have tension here. Relax the muscles in your neck and shoulders. See if you can let your shoulders sink down a little. Also very common to tense up our shoulders when we're dealing with a lot of moving parts or just systemic stress. Relax the muscles in your arms. Let your hands fall wherever they feel most comfortable. Relax the muscles in your upper chest and upper back. Your abdomen. Keep your belly soft. Remember to stay in your belly as you breathe. These are just gentle reminders. I invite you to let go of doing this perfectly. Meditation is a gentle and curious exploration of our inner life, self-reflection and introspection, to be done without judgment. Relax the muscles in your lower back and your hips. Relax the muscles in your upper legs, all the way down to your ankles and feet. If you're connecting to the surface underneath your feet, just feel the ground beneath you, or feel the bed or whatever other surface might be supporting you. Just allow yourself to sink in a little deeper here, feeling fully supported in your practice. You can say a silent affirmation here. I am safe and supported right here, right now. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath. Notice how grounded you feel. Notice if there's any areas of tension in the body. Remember, we're energetic beings, so our bodies are always shifting. Our muscles are always shifting. We're expanding and contracting with every inhalation and exhalation. So just bring your attention to wherever you feel tense or uncomfortable and breathe. We are developing awareness here. Notice if you have any thoughts rolling in, any thoughts about what just happened or what's going to happen, the past, future. Notice if there's any lingering thoughts about a particular situation in your life, a persistent complaint, something that you might be struggling with. See if you can create a little space between those thoughts in this moment. Simply observing, allowing the thoughts to rise and fall. Staying connected to your breath, we begin to feel more at peace, less invested in the story of our lives, and more present in this moment. Notice if you have any physical pain. There's something you're struggling with on a physical level, health issue. Just bring your awareness to wherever that resides in your body. And as you observe these sensations, I invite you to ask yourself if you have any unmet needs. Perhaps there's a need for support, or a need for connection, or a need for understanding, a need to be heard. See if this line of questioning and this self-inquiry stirs up emotion. There is an emotional root to whatever you might be experiencing physically. And there is a belief system, a framework within which you've been operating that keeps you trapped there. Just observe, notice, allow those emotions to come up to the surface. Perhaps there is a situation in your life that's not physically painful, but emotionally painful. Just give yourself permission to feel the full range of your emotions with compassion. Again, practicing non-judgment. And as you feel into your emotions, a gentle reminder to put your hand on your heart. This sends a signal to the brain that you are receiving unconditional love. This is a self-soothing technique. This, along with the diaphragmatic breathing, helps slow down the central nervous system, helps regulate whatever discomfort you might be feeling. Just allow these next few breaths to create an even bigger gap between your judgments and thoughts about whatever you're feeling, your pain, your emotions. And we're going to take this time to insert some positive affirmations to seal the healing process. You can relax your hand if you wish, or keep it on your heart. I like to sit with my palms up when I'm saying affirmations. Feel free to repeat these out loud or say them silently to yourself, whatever feels more supportive for your practice. I am safe and grounded right here, right now. I'm willing to heal myself. I'm willing to love and accept myself exactly as I am. Everything's always working out well for me. I give myself room to be human. I treat myself with grace and compassion. I trust my body is healing itself. I'm willing to have all of my needs met. I'm feeling more and more at peace with myself. Good. Take another deep diaphragmatic breath. Good. Bring your attention back to the present moment. Just feel into your body. You can rub your arms or the top of your legs. Just to wake up your body, you can wiggle your fingers and toes. Make your way back to me. Good. I hope that was helpful and supportive. I hope you use this practice to go deeper in your own pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain or mental anguish. They all are so connected, and they, as I mentioned during the practice, they keep us trapped in this way of operating that perpetuates pain. And when we don't resolve our emotions, when we don't deal with our feelings and our thoughts, they feed into each other, and eventually they create physical discomfort, physical disease. And so it's, meditation as a tool for self-healing, again, 5 to 10 minutes, even 15 minutes a day of introspection and observing and being with the sensations, physical sensations, emotional feelings and thoughts, with observation and non-judgment, just a gentle exploration of what's happening, and then bringing in that unconditional love and compassion to be with it all is very, very powerful and invokes the healing process. And with continued practice, you will find a tremendous amount of relief in whatever it is that you're experiencing or whatever it is that you've been struggling with. Okay. Hello, Malin. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, again, feel free to type them in the chat, or you can post them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. We will be meditating tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. Have a beautiful day.